All right, the Bills picking up a win, 27-17 over the Chargers. Dan Fates, I'm Jenna Cottrell. Mike Catalana was lucky enough to be at today's game. Mike, the Bills now 8-3 on the season. The fourth quarter, the Bills offense, things get a little dicey there with the back-to-back-to-back seemingly turnovers. What did you see today from Buffalo?
They were disjointed all day, really. I mean, the best play they had all day was a Cole Beasley pass for a touchdown. I mean, Josh Allen, great run to the end zone. He zipped a pass in the end zone that Dawson Knox held on to, so there are the positives. And they did run the ball effectively today, and I know Dan loves hearing that. But the passing game was disjointed. They really didn't get Diggs going until the second half, but the turnovers were a mess. I mean, running backs on this team don't fumble, but Singletary fumbled. Josh Allen couldn't handle a snap, and then he threw a hero ball 2018 Josh Allen interception. It was bad. It's the kind of thing you can't do against good teams or, and I'm sorry to say this, Anthony Lynn's a nice man, but he's a terrible head coach.
Awful.
I'm sorry to say it, but that was part of what helped the Bills win the game today. This offense has a lot to work on after this win, but they'll take it as a win.
But, Mike, it's crazy, and I think we need to take one step back. The Bills had 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter. They looked disjointed. Josh Allen only threw for about 160 yards. They still scored 27 points.
Yeah.
Like, last year, we would have killed for 27 points. We're sitting here acting like they couldn't get a first down. They were able to do things. It's just the bar has been raised on what our expectations are, and that's why we're sitting here, right, Mike, going 27 points. What the heck's wrong with the offense?
Yeah, I think it's because they made so many mistakes today. The penalties,
They were
the
glaring
false starts,
mistakes.
you know, and then on defense they made a lot too. Yeah, there was a lot of mistakes. I mean, honestly, with a couple of less egregious errors like the fumble and the interception, I mean, they could have put 40 up easily in this game without even a ton of passing yards. I mean, it wasn't like Josh was lighting it up passing the ball. So I look at it that way. They started to run it because, let's be honest, I said the most impressive person in the Bills' backfield in 2020 this year is Bosa from the Chargers because he lived in the Bills' backfield for the entire day today. They could not block him. So I think that's why they ran the ball a little bit more today. Yes, you're right. They did score 27 points. But they know offensive line-wise and turnover-wise, they need to improve a lot going forward.
Yeah. And you know what? This game, I think it was nice to see the Bills' defense, though, be able to take that step up. We know that Sean McDermott is a defensive head coach, but it seems like we've always just kind of been waiting to see that from the defense. Now, as of late, they've been able to put it together more. But today, you know, when the Bills' offense was constantly putting them back on the field, Dan, for them to only give up a field goal, that says a lot.
Yeah, we've talked at times about the hint of maybe this Bills defense kind of getting that swagger back. Jordan Poyer after the game said the team really kind of thrived on that sudden change situations where they were, you know, they forced the 3 and out after an interception, and then all of a sudden they're right back out there. I started to see a little bit of that aggressiveness, you know, that could make Justin Herbert uncomfortable, and he hasn't been uncomfortable pretty much most of his career. So it was nice to see, and asking Sean McDermott kind of got a chuckle out of him going, knowing you're a defensive-minded guy, I go, what was it like to finally get an offense uncomfortable? And he was like, yeah, and then he quickly caught himself and then went, well, credit to the defensive coaches out there. They did a great job. But it was great to kind of see, Mike, a defense that was one that we remember, right?
Yeah. You know what is great also to see is you and Sean getting along so well during these Zoom calls, you know? It just warms my heart to see him smile when Dan Fates asks him a question. Hey, you know who I was happy to see play as well as he did today?
A.J. Klein?
When you match up against Eckler, A.J. Klein, he plays, I got to say this, he plays with a little bit of violence in his game.
Yeah.
Mike,
he throws
do me a
people
favor.
down. He attacks.
Scooch to your right.
Look, he's not a... Go ahead.
Scooch to your right. There you go.
You're almost walking out of the frame.
Perfect.
Yeah, you're good.
Continue.
I was just saying, keep going.
Oh, I just got excited to talk about it. By the way, I'm going to have to get out of here soon because they're chasing everybody out of here. All the Bills employees, they're all out of this place as of tonight for the next 2 days. But A.J. Klein was really good. Look, like I said, Austin Eckler, he can make many many players look bad in coverage that way. But I thought he helped them a ton today. I thought he made some big plays for them, and that's what they needed out of the linebacker position today with Matt Milano still out. So there are positives on this defense. There are things to be encouraged about going forward. They looked more like the old team. That's what I said, where they played defense, they ran the ball, and they did just enough in the passing game. So, hey, it's a win, right? It's 8-3 on the year, and they needed it because Miami and New England both got wins today.
Yeah. And Jenna, it was kind of familiar that we've talked about it's a lot easier to make these adjustments, and even though the Bills got the win, it seems to perk their ears up, get their antennas going of like, hey, this wasn't a clean win. This wasn't 60 full minutes. This wasn't all 3 phases. But the defense and the special teams, they were dominant today, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. And even talking with A.J. Klein, actually, Mike, you mentioned him after the game, I said, what did you learn from this game? And he just talked about the importance of playing those full 60 minutes because like we saw from this team, you know, it was interesting. I know we all talk about the third quarter, but that fourth quarter, things kind of started to look like the wheels were about to fall off. But Mike, you mentioned A.J. Klein. I think a lot of Bills fans have been upset at his play earlier on in the season. He dropped an interesting little note in his press conference after the game, talking about how he was a middle linebacker. He would fill in for Luke Kuechly under Sean McDermott's defense back in Carolina. But now he's been switched over because Tremaine Edmonds is a middle linebacker for Buffalo. So he's taken time to kind of learn the playbook from a position where he's really wasn't used to playing. And I thought that was interesting because he said now he feels way more confident and can play more downhill and more aggressive.
And that's it. I saw a couple plays that tweeted out on the third down stop before Anthony Lynn was going to go for it on 4th and 4, and then put the field goal unit on, then call the timeout. Again, Mike, atrocious head coaching decisions. The Chargers are a good team. They play hard. They have talent.
They do.
Lynn's going to get himself fired. It's not going to be because the team quits on him. But A.J. Klein was flying sideline to sideline. It looks like he got shot out of a cannon. And that was what this team has lacked at times. I thought Micah Hyde got involved in some plays. It was aggressive again, Mike, and that's what was nice to see.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention is, you know, when we had the Hail Murray play in Arizona a couple weeks ago, I think we all felt like that was just, you know, good positioning on defense and the guy just made a play. Not today. They gave up 2 Hail Marys today. One got called back. I don't know what they're doing. And today it's knock it down time. I mean, that ball was right there. Not only they didn't knock it down, they knocked it back for the guy to catch it. I mean, honestly, it was brutal at the end of that game. And only, again, Anthony Lynn and the Chargers kept them from having to guard an onside kick at the end. That is something they need to work on. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to mention this. Speaking of Arizona, I know that's been tweeted out and the league was talking about it. That, according to a couple Bills sources today, that is where they expect to be going for next Monday. Things are a bit disjointed here. I said they're going to chase everybody out. The staff and everybody has to be gone. It's a strange atmosphere here now. I think everybody feels like they're holding on a little bit, and then they'll have to go out there, travel to Arizona. Same with the Niners coming in from California. So it's going to be a little different atmosphere, again, with no fans, but it's all part of this just keep the train running as best you can to get the next game in. So while we complain about all the things that went wrong today, the Bills will take a breath. Understand they have 8 wins. Understand they're still in first place, and try to correct the mistakes.
And they covered, Mike. Mike, they covered. Those 2 Hail Marys had me.
You should have seen Dan at the end of the game. He was hiding behind his desk.
Good teams win. Great teams cover, and they needed it. And I think Anthony Lynn may have had the Bills minus 4.5 as well with some of his late game coaching decisions. Fair enough?
Also, if we're going to talk about stuff, I correctly predicted the game score.
She did. Jenna
I said 27-17. I think that's the first time I've done that this season.
Congratulations.
So thank you. I'm still not beating you in the standings.
I mean, I'm still in first place.
Yes, I figured he would work in that
that's
point.
That's the way it goes.
Of course.
Good blog.
Also, are you at the game because you want to make sure you can get out there?
By the way, I just wanted to say to you that I really probably do have to get. I think the COVID police are going to come in and chase me out of here in a second. The parking lot is empty. Everybody is gone. The team's gone. I saw the Chargers. I saw the Chargers leave. Anthony Lynn had him go in the wrong direction to the 90s. So it's just the kind of day he had today. It was not pretty, but it's an 8th win. And like I said, if they win one more game, back-to-back winning seasons for the franchise for the first time this millennium.
Wow.
So
that's huge.
There you go. They got
right.
that in store for them the rest of the season.
All right, Mike, we'll let you get out of there. For Mike Catalana and Dan Fates, I'm Jenna Cottrell. Make sure to subscribe and like our content. Thanks for watching.